So I know I want to ride out,
Ride what?
even if I only go to my house.
Ooh, look at that live video. Looks
Sip,
so good.
sip on White Claw, cause I know I'm about to ride out. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Is this a White Claw commercial? Is that what's happening
No,
right
this
now?
is just this is just a precursor.
I'm gonna man spread all over this podcast. Let's see how long I can hold the man spread for. What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's podcast. Jacob and Kyle bringing it to ya on 10th Dimension Podcast.
The pod
The pod.
that casts
Yeah.
a spell people's
Probe.
minds.
The probe.
The alien. Nah,
We're not gonna go on
Not
the
gonna do
Area
that
50.
again.
Not gonna go on the Area 51 train again.
No,
Damn, I was really hoping for that one.
I know you were.
What's up, person? I don't see your name. Okay. Things are calling me. I don't know that person. What's up? We already got like 2 people.
All right, so
Gym time. Love those. Yes.
yes, bro, I got these Steph Curry nursing shoes on.
I know you ain't wearing sandals with socks.
These aren't sandals.
What are they? A half a shoe?
They're flips.
That's a flippity flop.
The flippity flop is a flippity.
Yeah. I like your earrings though. They're pretty cool.
Hey.
I wish I had some.
Well, then get a piercing.
Wait, my man spread's gotta be better than yours. Okay. Oh, our man spreads are touching. That's just weird. Anyways, how's it going? How's your birthday going so far?
It's all right.
Just all right.
Just
How old did you turn?
25.
Ooh, it's a quarter of a decade.
I'm old,
Don't worry, I'm 26.
but my car insurance is supposed to be going down. So
Hey, that's pretty good. I changed my car insurance over to Cheyenne, so I changed my address on my car insurance, and it went up.
whoa.
Yeah, apparently when you live out in the country, your risk of getting into a car accident is a lot lower than when you live in a city.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes
That makes perfect sense when you don't think about it. Or when you do. I mean, either way.
You're the one.
Either or. Either if. Yes.
So we have a good show coming up. I mean, we don't have bad shows per se, but interesting show tonight
Yeah,
on the podcast.
because it's your birthday.
It's my birthday. So y'all don't want it.
Yeah.
So today we are actually talking about psychology and how the brain works, during advertisements. Can you turn that light on, please? Because look at YouTube.
What the fuck?
Yeah, boo. Yeah, boo.
This one?
There we go. Oh, one more.
Uno más.
There we go. Yeah, how the brain works on advertisements, how the brain works in your subliminal consciousness and your consciousness.
Your subconscious?
So yeah, subliminal
Subconscious.
works towards
Subliminal messaging.
subliminal message.
Subliminal.
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 Yeah, so let's dive into it.
Yeah.
So, how much do you know particularly about this subject?
Like advertisement?
Yes,
Quite a bit.
quite a bit.
So
we talked about
sociology
before,
was like sociology and psychology is probably 2 of my favorite subjects to study, both in and out of college. Like I just love diving into that. It's one of my favorite things of all time. I just love knowing how people work.
Yeah.
I love knowing how the human brain works, and I love knowing things before other people know the thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I know what you're thinking about right now because I'm got Jedi mind powers.
What am I thinking about right now?
You're thinking about it's your birthday and you want to turn up. Oh, bam!
Heard it
Read
here live.
minds. I can hear it here live. Heard it here live. Your mom just called you, and we were live.
Ooh, dang it.
Hey, let's go.
There we go.
We're
All
still
right.
live. It's all good. We're still here. Okay,
So-
yeah.
So I actually did a research paper here last week. Sorry, guys.
Hello. Hello.
So and I dove really into it, and I've taken a couple psychology classes before, and I just think they're interesting, and I chose that as my elective. And really, how the mind works is, it works as basically like, think of like a data center. and everything that you're viewing, everything that you see during the day, even if you don't see it, your mind does pick it up. So if you have like advertisements in your face all day long, just because you don't see it personally with your eyes doesn't mean your mind's not hearing it or seeing it. So take it for example, like a movie with, an action movie. Cigarette companies will put people in the background, or obviously they pay the movie people to, or the production company to put cigarettes in the movie, even if the main actor isn't smoking. People behind him or around him are, say it's focusing on Tom Hanks and behind just an extra smoking a cigarette, your mind will pick that up and actually subliminally and technically technically consciously, but you're unconscious to the fact that the person's smoking, actually pick that up. And since it's, imagine the effect on little kids and all that kind of stuff. Like imagine just a child seeing a cool person smoking a cigarette, and that could lead to that kid smoking one day. um, Same thing with McDonald's, actually, that got caught using subliminal messaging in TV shows. So they got caught, I believe, on Cartoon Network, where it just flashed like a millisecond of a McDonald's sign, boom, boom, and the kid next, after the show, he wants McDonald's.
Yeah.
Actually, in a lot of cartoons, usually they use, and like SpongeBob is actually a really good example of how to get kids to actually watch the show. Obviously, it's very entertaining. I used to watch it when I was a kid too,
I
but
love SpongeBob.
they use the contrast between red and blue to keep the viewer watching, because that's the first colors that your mind sees. Just like in 3D movies, you know how you have the red and blue. The reason you can see that is because the red and blue make a contrast to your eyes. So in 3D movies, that's how it sticks out.
Oh yeah, well, and if you look at like a 3D movie without the 3D glasses on, you can see that little like red and blue outline outside the figures.
Yeah, exactly. So that keeps your mind actually manipulated into paying attention to what is in front of it, and which I feel is kind of really manipulating, and that it's manipulating, and it's also interesting because you can manipulate somebody's mind into doing what you want it to do, and that is producing buyers for your customer base. I mean, really, and it all boils down to money, which basically everything does. But on the other kind of side of things, it's just very, very interesting how they trick your mind into buying what they want.
Um, no, what's crazy about subliminal messaging is that you pretty much see it everywhere. I mean, just driving down the road, you're going to see it all over the place. Like, if you look at fast food restaurants, the main locations that those places are set up and where billboards are set up are going to be on high traffic areas. And you may drive by one, but then you drive by another and you drive by another, and all of a sudden you're like, I can't stand anymore. I need to eat this food. Or you, even with like movies, what was it? I think it's Fight Club. I think it's Fight Club that this is in. But
That movie, I actually really like that movie.
yeah,
It's
I
pretty
think
demented.
I think it is Fight Club if I remember right. But it's like playing this movie, and in the movie clips, he like shows like a dick.
Yeah.
It's like a half a second of it, and nobody picks up on it,
Yeah.
and it doesn't register in anybody's mind.
Well, what he does is clip the movie clips and just add that little tiny little piece.
Yeah. Nobody even notices.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, but if we think about it, there's so many things that we don't pick up on. And a lot of the things that we do pick up on it, and I'll just bring this back to the reticular activation system. A lot of the stuff that we do pick up on is stuff that only fits within our perspective or within our perception of reality. So if you're somebody who only eats fast food, and that's the only thing that you've ever ate before in your entire life, you haven't had anything else, just extreme example here, and you're driving down the road, you're not going to see all the other restaurants that you pass by. You're going to be looking for big old signs that are fast food restaurants. Be like, oh, if you go through like a small town and you see like 3 restaurants, but they're not like fast food, big chain companies, you're not going to recognize them. You're not going to notice them, and you're not going to want them. And it's crazy to think about, because it can come into play in so many different things. But with subliminal messaging, I've seen this experiment done. This guy's a magician out of the UK, and he did this particular experiment. I watched this, I think it was either in psychology or sociology class. I can't remember which. Anyways, he puts up a bunch of pictures And there are different pictures to this business logo. And so the idea is that he's trying to help these people build this business logo, and he's going to predict what it is that they exactly want and what's inside their head. And he's going to put it on paper. Well, what he does is everywhere that they go, he puts up little pictures everywhere. They don't even pick up on these little pictures. They're like on a door, they're on a wall in a restaurant that they like to eat at, they're on a cup at a bar they really like. And he just puts these little things up everywhere in places that he knows they're going to notice, but not quite see, if that makes sense. So then when it comes time for him to build their business logo, he lays it out in front of them, and they describe what they want. And then he puts it out in front of them, and they're like, that's exactly what was in my head. That's the exact image that I was thinking of. And it's like, I know. I put subliminal messages up everywhere just so you would pick up on them, and so that I could make this logo exactly what was in your mind. So it's essentially what he was, the trick, the magic trick was him reading their minds. He was like, I'm going to read your mind right now and give you the exact logo that you want with the exact picture that's in your head. And he did. And it was just because he went through and he put those subliminal messages in. And it's crazy that you can manipulate people like that. But at the end of the day, there's always that moment of choice. And so no matter how much you subliminally message somebody or how much you manipulate somebody in a psychological manner, they're always going to have that end decision, that end choice to make. And at the end of the day, that all comes down to them. So even if you're like pumping subliminal messaging into these people, whether it's through like fast food or whatever, at the end of the day, it comes down to their choice. And another thing is that somebody who's aware of this can actually counteract that and become aware of it. Another crazy experiment that you can do, and everybody that can do at home right now, is think about what you ate yesterday. So when you think about your subconscious mind, everything that's in your subconscious is everything that you're not aware of, or not in a sense that you're not aware of. It's something that it's not. Moment. Yeah, exactly. And then in your conscious mind is everything that you're aware of in this present moment. So if you think about food is like what you ate yesterday. What did you eat yesterday? Now you have to really think about it, and you have to really go back and examine and become aware of what's happening. So what you can do with subliminal messaging is you can always take that step back and make yourself aware of that. And that's the biggest thing, is just awareness. And I think so many people get lost and get taken away from awareness because of our busy lives and because of everything that's going on. We're so busy minded that we forget to bring ourselves back to the present moment and be aware of everything that's in front of us.
Yeah.
But
that's a good point.
Going even further, I really love talking about the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind gets me so hyped. It's ridiculous.
Hype that up.
It makes me think about all the porn I watched last night. I mean, it makes me think about all the books I read last night. Anyways.
Well, I'll give you another example in that there's two types of advertising. One that's it makes sense towards the commercial.
Like it's direct.
Yeah, directly towards the product they're trying to produce or sell. And there's I forgot what it was. It was LP or something that basically like non-fictional. It doesn't make any sense towards the
car commercials.
Like say you have a car commercial, you're on the desert and it's driving like 180 miles an hour and they're showing off the engine and the engine power. Well, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Another type of advertising is that one that doesn't make sense. So I don't know if you remember the Super Bowl commercial Doritos, where it's like puppy monkey baby.
Puppy monkey baby?
Yeah, puppy monkey baby. Hey, puppy monkey. No.
Oh, no, I don't remember
that.
But
it was a Doritos commercial.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually really good advertising in that they get the viewers to actually talk about the product after the commercial.
Yeah.
So
it's like something that sticks in your mind.
Yeah, you're like, this commercial doesn't make no sense.
Yeah.
And so that actually they get a win-win. So that you're not only addicted to or paying attention to the TV because it's something interesting and different, but you talk about it after because you're like, what the heck was that? So they get a win-win. So they're talking about Doritos twice. You're viewing it and then you're talking about it to your friends. Not Sunday you see it, Monday you start talking about all the Super Bowl commercials. That's the one that you're going to be talking about. So Doritos won that day. Obviously
they had something catchy.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, it just doesn't make sense. It's like, why are you even putting this out? This has nothing to do with chips.
Yeah, it's
You know,
just,
but-
it's just,
But
it's
that's
catchy.
actually that's really good advertising, and people will buy because of that.
Oh yeah. Well, some of my favorite commercials to watch are either gonna be like European or Chinese or Korean. Korean ones are awesome. So there's this one Korean commercial, and it's got all these guys that are laying down on the ground and they're interlocking arms, right? And like the sun's shining, but it's like really hot, and like it's the sun's just blaring on them. They'll get burned all to hell. And then the next scene it shows them getting rained on, and they're sitting there like, hold, hold, hold. We're gonna survive this, boys. We're gonna make it. Come on, let's keep going. And then it starts hailing on them, and it's just like they're trying to survive the hail, and then this crazy windstorm comes through, and they're trying to survive all these different conditions. And it's just guys laying on the ground with their arms interlocked. Can you guess what the commercial was for?
No, I don't know.
It was for shingles for a roof.
That actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I know, right? And so it's like, what the heck? But my favorite kinds
That's
are
awesome.
those kinds.
What about that? The appliance. You know, the appliance guy. He's a person. He's a guy, and he gets transported each way. And he's like, "Hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's up, dude?" But it's appliance like washer and dryer and
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know that one.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Mag stuff or I forgot what it was, but it's just a dude, and he's just he's just like he's the appliance.
Oh, okay.
And then
And so he's like
"Don't
chilling
ever-"
in the kitchen.
Yeah, or that one where the insurance commercial where he's like, "Don't," or "Mayhem causes like me," or something like that.
Oh yeah. The mayhem dude.
Yeah, the Mayhem dude.
Or like another one is they just created Progressive created Flo.
Yeah,
She was super catchy, and
Yeah.
everybody knows Flo. And
Yeah.
I can't imagine how many freaking. It's so stupid.
and it's
Like-
just commercials.
Yeah, it's like marketing and
It's genius.
and selling and sales just comes down. It doesn't. You don't even have to sell a good product. You just have to have something catchy that sells. That's it. That's all that it comes down to.
Well, I mean, and that's what we're talking about in the psychological. And it's like, okay, you know who Flo is, and now you know who this insurance company is, based on a commercial that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's like urban legends, right? Like everybody knows at least one urban legend. Like the whole you go out on the town by yourself and you wake up in a bathtub full of ice cubes and your kidney's gone. Like that's a huge urban legend. And what's so funny about urban legends, and this is actually in a book. I think it's called Made to Stick. I think is the book this is from. But the idea is that you want to create something that's compelling, that charges your emotions, that's mysterious yet captivating. Anyways, with an urban legend, it's always you know it through somebody else. So I have a cousin who has a friend that was off in Vegas, and they were traveling downtown, and they got really drunk, and then they blacked out, and they woke up in this hotel in this bathtub full of ice cubes, and they had their side was all sewed up, and they were missing their kidney. It's always somebody else. It's like this person, but then there's like that story. There's always a story. If you think about some of the best commercials ever, like the car commercials, where it's just like athletes, and they're talking about athletes being efficient and yada 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 yada, but it's a commercial for a freaking car. It's like, what? They just made a story, and then they somehow link the car to the story. Like, you want your best athletes in the world to be efficient, so why would you not want your car to be efficient or something crazy like that? But they create a story, and they use that story to link it to the product. It's the same thing, right? So I think that stories are probably the main thing that you can use to really help take your marketing to the next level, to take your sales to the next level, and to really give you something that sticks with people.
Well, obviously, businesses want to put your mind at ease when you're thinking about their product. You don't want something aggressive, remember Colin Kaepernick, how that made people uncomfortable. Yeah, they got a little on business. Yeah, they made a lot of money just based on, hey, people support Colin Kaepernick. People don't support Colin Kaepernick, but you're buying the shoe anyway. Yeah, people don't want to kind of either be forced. People don't want to be dragged into a sale. They just want their mind at ease first, and then they end up making a sale. Like I made a sale here at the CBD shop today because I made the dude laugh, and that's a good marketing tool, because once you put that customer's mind at ease, it's easy to make the sale. If you connect with them on a personal level, it's very easy to make the sale. So that's why they try to manipulate your mind. they try to manipulate your mind into buying their product because they want to put your mind at ease.
Well, you think about a lot of car companies, they push safety, right? And so then they talk about trust, and they give you an example of this car and it's going through the traffic, and then this freaking, I think it's a Subaru commercial if I remember right, but they're driving through traffic and all of a sudden it gets T-boned and there's a little kid in the back, and the little kid ends up being fine. It's like, whose hands will you put your trust in? Blah 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 blah. Put it in ours because we got the safest cars or some crap like that. But I think the trust is a big one. Trust is definitely huge, and I think that's where the interpersonal relationship, if it's a one-on-one type deal, comes in handy. I really hate high pressure. I hate high pressure. So like if I'm stepping onto a car lot and I'm going to buy a car, or I just want to look at a car, I just don't like to do it because I immediately know that this stinking car salesman is going to come out and he's not going to let me leave unless I buy something. And I hate that environment. I hate that pushy, high pressure environment. And it's funny because they're kind of using a marketing tool that's very negative in a way, because they're pressuring you and they're making you feel like you can't leave unless you buy something, right? And I understand that a commission, they're heavily reliant upon commission and all that fun stuff. But at the same time, for me personally, I have to make sales, obviously. And for me, when it comes to making sales, I just go in, I be friendly with them, I make a few jokes, I figure out what their goals are, I see what their pain points are. I think that's the biggest thing, is when you can figure out where somebody's struggling and what they're struggling with, and you have a solution for that, I think that immediately makes them trust you. It's like, okay, this person made the effort to understand me, and now that they understand me, they've came up with a solution, and now I want to understand that. So there's that saying, it's in the 7 principles of successful, or the 7 habits of successful people. And it's seek first to understand, then to be understood. I think somebody else said that before that, but that's a great saying.
Yeah.
First, you understand your customer, you understand the person that you're trying to work with, and then you seek to be understood, right? And it's not even it just naturally happens. And I think that's what you see a lot with companies too. And it's so funny because they have some of the smartest people in the world working on these marketing campaigns and these ads and so on and so forth. And they know how the human psyche works. They know how the subconscious mind works, and they know how to really get people interested in their products.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, everybody knows a smell. Everybody knows a sound. Everybody knows an object that they can look back on their life and have either a negative or a positive effect. And obviously, like I said before, those businesses try to target that to make the sale.
Mhm.
And it's really just, like I said, putting your mind at ease. Obviously, with the car salesman kind of thing, you already know that you're going to get pushed.
Mhm.
You need a car. I mean, you're not going to be walking around, so you kind of have to. Obviously, you have a choice of what dealerships that you want to go to. You have a choice of what kind of car you want to buy. You have a choice of if you want to go to a dealership or a particular individual seller. But you already know going to the dealership that you are going to get pressured, and you're already like built up. You're like, oh,
Like,
chill
oh no,
out.
this is like a
Yeah.
first date. I'm not ready to put out.
That money. Then it comes out of that money.
He bought dinner. Crap, he bought dinner. I don't know what to do now.
I'm
I don't want to do
pressured.
this.
I'm
I don't
pressured.
want to do this anymore. This is too much pressure. I'm gonna freak out. JC, what's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
What's up, brah?
What's up, bro?
Whoa, calm down now. But yeah, it's true. The subconscious mind is crazy. And one thing that I would really like to touch on is the amount of trauma that we put into our subconscious mind, the amount of crap that we put into our subconscious mind without even realizing it. Like people that have irrational fears of being locked in the closet. Like, I don't like closets. I don't like being in closets. I don't like being around closets. Like, why are you afraid of closets? And then they start to think about it, and it's just in their subconscious. It takes them a while to find it, but then they find like a childhood memory. And it's like, oh, because I got locked in the closet by my older brothers all the time, and they turn the lights off, and they would make loud noises, and they keep me locked in there for hours on end. That's why I hate closets. Or it's like when you're a child and you go into the water and you start drowning because you don't know how to swim. You immediately have a phobia of water, so you don't like going into the water anymore. You're absolutely terrified of the water because you almost drowned as a kid, right? And that's a lot of what psychologists do, is they try and they ask you questions because in a sense what a psychologist is doing is they're trying to lead you through your own brain. So they ask all the right questions to help lead you to your own answer. So it's like, how does that make you feel? And then they go deeper into that and they go deeper into that. And so they're asking all of these questions, trying to help you find that specific answer because you already have the answer. You just have to make your way through your subconscious mind, which is like a freaking stupid piggy bank full of mossed up coins. I don't know what kind of analogy that was, but it was an analogy. And you got to find your way to the magic dollar that's at the bottom, but you have to go through all these pennies to get to that magic silver coin.
Well, what kind of sucks in a way, and it doesn't suck because you can actually manipulate your mind into producing a different memory. Say you had a trauma, and you're like, okay, I don't know, you had a car accident, but your mind actually manipulated to protecting itself by not shutting down. Because when you do, you black out. I mean, and your adrenaline starts pumping. Sometimes, obviously, you're gonna find that in your subconscious later, but you don't know, if the car that hit you was red or if it was blue. Even though you saw it, your mind blanks it out. So the traumatization doesn't impact you as it should have. Imagine like dudes in Vietnam, getting gunned down and the dude next to him right there gets shot in the head. And, your mind just goes so blank because it wants to protect itself. But all those dudes came back and they were destroyed mentally because they didn't have any counseling. And they did store that in the back of their mind, not willingly, but they came back and they're all destroyed mentally. I mean, because PTSD is a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
July 4th is actually a really tough time for vets that, have issues with PTSD. And it's really sad to see because I actually seen a couple of Facebook videos. Obviously, this is during July 4th. Hey, guys, try to, respect us. Obviously, we're going to have fireworks, but, can you maybe take it a little elsewhere because my husband, I mean, he's crying. He doesn't know what's going on because subconsciously, boom, that thing clicks on and he remembers. He doesn't even see anything in front of him. He just remembers the sound, just like he remembers gunshots and mortar fire when he was, in war. Yeah. So that and all that subconscious it's identified by smells, sounds, and like feeling. So if you feel like, I don't know, certain types of touching points where you're kind of sensitive and that triggers you, boom, you just heard that sound again, boom, it triggers you again.
Oh yeah, it's like going through specific events. Before I hop into this, shout out to JC. He's totally right. So he said with sales, you got to believe in your product, and I agree 100%.
Oh yeah.
Hopping back into sales real quick, just for a quick second. If you don't believe in what you're selling, you don't believe in with all of your heart, then people are going to pick up on that. They're going to notice that, and they're not going to believe in you either. And I've seen this personally, with my own personal training. And it took a good friend of mine to like wake me up and be like, okay, this is how you should see it. And yeah, it's kind of egotistical and yeah, it's kind of cocky, but I promise you, it'll bring you great results. And she said to me, you have to believe that you are worth twice as much as what you're selling. She said, so if you're selling something for $2,000, you have to believe that you're worth $4,000 because you know it in your heart that you are. And so when I started taking on that more of a frame of mind, like knowing what I sell was absolutely worth it, I started selling like crazy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, hopping into being triggered. This is something that I really wanted to talk about today. And it was something that I've been thinking about all day. But if we think about it, the whole idea of being triggered, we see it all the time on the internet. We see it all the time with people on social media, all that fun stuff. We see it all the time in videos. You see it all the time with, any sort of like political agenda. There's always some sort of trigger that happens. People get triggered all the time, and you can see it a lot. The easiest way to describe it is, PTSD. Some simple thing like a fan spinning in a room reminds them of a helicopter propeller, and all of a sudden they're taken aback and they're triggered, and all of these emotions start flowing forward. Right now, we can think about other areas of our lives. For me, one of my biggest triggers is like anger. Anger is something that has just run me for my whole entire life. I was an angry kid. I was an angry freaking young adult. I was an angry teenager. I was just anger is probably one of my predominant emotions. I've just used anger so much that it's just something that is there, and it's something that I have to deal with. And so it's funny because when you're triggered, there's a lot of crazy things that will happen to you in your body, right? There will be a lot of things that happen physiologically when you are psychologically triggered. I noticed this the other day. So I ordered the tickets to Post Malone, and I was getting them shipped to me. I got them shipped to my address, which was a stupid thing to start with. I should have shipped them somewhere else. So they couldn't get them into my apartment because it's really hard to get into my apartment. So there's no way they're going to get them to me there. So I requested that they put it in an access point. Well, I woke up the next morning and I put in the request the day before, and it said that they were still going to try and deliver it to my address. And I almost lost it, dude. I got so mad. I started yelling and screaming. I wanted to throw my phone. I was like, motherfucker. Censoring myself there. Anyways, beep, 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 beep. It's like Morse code. Anyways, I was angry. But then I took a step back and I was like, whoa, dude, this is not how we're going to start our day. This is not how this is going to go. If this is how it's going to be, the whole rest of the day is going to suck.
Yeah.
So I took a step back and I started like trying to get out of my head and stop thinking about the thought, because I think that's a big one. You start thinking about the thought, the wheels start turning, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So I took a step back. I was like, get out of your head real quick. Just try and focus on what's happening in your body. So I kind of like took my attention away from the thoughts, and I tried to bring my attention like into my breathing and everything. And the first thing that I noticed was my shoulders were like, and my hands were clenched, and my breathing was like super rapid. It was like, like I was charging up to like just explode. And I was like, okay, calm down, relax your shoulders, let go of your hands, like let your hands relax.
I'm getting angry.
Yeah.
You don't like me.
Yeah, like when a little kid gets angry and you see their nostrils flare and their eyes get all big, and it's like, whoa, calm down. But yeah, that's exactly how it works. Is you'll feel that. And like even when you get sad, you like feel like this like breathing, and like someone who's like hysterical, they're like right, and you can see that in the body, and that's just because we house a lot of things in the body. So when I noticed that, I took a step back, I started taking some deep breaths, I started relaxing my shoulders, I started smiling even though I didn't want to freaking smile because I thought this thing was going to wherever. And then I applied one of the most important principles that I've ever learned in my entire life, which is be proactive. And I started being proactive with my behavior. I started being proactive with the situation. It was like, okay, what can I do to change the situation to make it better? So I called the access point that I was supposed to get these tickets at. I called the lady and I was like, be nice, start her day off, smile, be cool, make sure that you give her a good day. And so I did that. I made sure to, spread some good energy. Yeah. And she was so helpful. Like she answered the phone. She could tell that she was tired and she didn't want to do it today. And I immediately started being nice and I started being friendly towards her. And she helped me out. She made sure that my package was going to get there. She made sure to call me once the package was there and all of this stuff. And it was all because I made the choice to, one, not be super angry. I could have called and like cussed her out and everything and been super angry. Or I could have, taken a step back, let it go, and then get on the phone, relax a little bit, and figure out the situation the smart way. And once I did that, I was able to go grab my tickets. No problem grabbing the tickets. And bam, I got to go to the show. And I think the biggest thing there, the biggest lesson there that I took away from it was don't let your emotions run you. And I think that's the most important thing. And always notice when you are triggered, what's happening in your body. That's the first step, is always notice what's happening in your body. Once you notice what's happening in your body, let go of the areas that you're holding tension, take control of your breathing, and try and really get yourself back into a calm state. It's like when you have a kid and they start like just crying, they are super upset. What was something that your mom always said to you when you were super upset?
Stop crying.
Stop crying. So So for me, and like for a lot of parents that I've seen before with their kids,
oh, you know what?
Like
she would say, "Hey, you want a surprise? I'll get you a surprise if you stop crying."
Nice.
And then she'll never give me a surprise.
No, that's so messed up. I heard one. It was like kids was crying, and I can't remember who told me this. But anyways, like, I'll give you something to cry about if you keep crying. It's like, oh, okay. So I've seen this before, and my mom's done it to me before when I was a kid. But it was like, okay, deep breaths, calm down, deep breaths. It was always like deep breaths when you're like angry and you're triggered as a kid and you're upset and you want to throw a tantrum. It was always take deep breaths, calm down, it's gonna be okay. And you see it all the time now. You know, whether somebody's going into shock because some crazy thing happened, they're like deep breaths, calm down, it's gonna be okay. Right. And I think that's huge. Is like breathing is such a trigger point. It's such an area where you see emotions start to flow forwards.
Well, me personally, I have trouble with listening to people that I think that I know more than, and that sucks because um, my dad was hard on me my whole life, and I've been yelled at and screamed at my whole life, and then I went right into the military and got yelled at and screamed at and treated like shit. My dad never treated me like shit, but
Yeah.
the military did. And now at this point in my life, sometimes I got to be like, you know what? Hey, just let that shit slide, because the more mature that you get, the more experience you get, or the more experience that you get, the more mature you get,
Yeah,
the
more
lessons that you
wisdom
learn.
get.
But the people that use experiences like that and or disregard those experiences are very immature. People that use small experiences throughout the day will continue to actually better their life and keep progressing moving forward. Not if you're not using, if you're not progressing in your job, if you're not progressing in your life, the goals that you set for yourself. Because I think that everybody should have a goal, and if you're not striving for a goal, then what are you living this life for?
Mm-hmm.
But if you I lost my train of thought. I had a good point coming up. Oh, if you don't use the experiences that you learn throughout the day, you're wasting your knowledge and you're wasting uh, what God put in front of you to learn from. Because all God wants is for you to learn your lessons on this earth. That He wants you to learn and experience what this life is about. And if you don't learn every single day, or at least try to and attempt to, use a lesson at least say once a week, you're gonna have something that gets you emotional, because once you start getting emotional, happy, sad, angry, depressed. Once you start getting emotional, then you can start learning lessons, because life isn't learned in happiness. Life isn't learned when you're succeeding. Experiences are learned when you're failing. Experiences are learned when you're mad. Experiences are learned when you're depressed. Experiences are learned when you have a breakup. Experiences are learned when you get a flat tire and you don't overreact. Well, okay, if you don't overreact and you think it's, it's going to be okay, you already learned that lesson. You already learned that lesson. So you don't need to learn it again. Yeah, is it going to happen again? Yes, it will happen again. But at the same time, you got to apply those to other experiences. Yeah, it might not be the flat tire again, but that might be, I don't know, your dog runs into a wall and you got to fix it. And you're like, you know what? Hey, you're just playing. It's okay. I'll get it fixed tomorrow. That flat tire lesson is the same mindset that can use for that wall. And that being patient and learning the experiences that you have throughout your day, throughout your week, throughout your month, and throughout your year, you look back on those and actually use those, because that will make your life better. Not only will it make you a better person, not only will it make you more loving, more passionate, but it also will make you overall just a better person to be around, because not only do you have the maturity to face those problems, you have the knowledge to give to somebody else, and hopefully they don't have those same problems. You can teach them and use that in a teaching moment to them.
Yeah. So if you got like 8 baby mamas somewhere in a damn condom, guy, person,
Use it.
man, whore. But yeah, I totally agree. What's funny is that I think that you can acquire confidence. Obviously, you can acquire confidence. And I think that the most confident people that I've ever seen in my entire life are some people that have been through the worst of the worst. Like they've been through some crazy stuff, yet they're just stupid confident. It's like they don't even say anything. They don't even do anything. They just have to stand there and you can almost just feel it radiate off of me. Like, what the heck, dude? How are you so confident? I've met so many people like this. They just sit there and it's like they're taking up the whole entire space in the room. It's like, how are you doing that? They're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And they've just been through everything. They've been through everything underneath the sun. And that's huge. So, I mean, if you're somebody that's got low confidence or you're not a very confident person to begin with, then maybe it's a sign that you're not getting out and doing enough things. Maybe it's a sign that you're not getting out and facing enough pain. Maybe it's a good sign that you're not going out and facing adversity. And I think that's huge because so many people nowadays, it's so easy to just do nothing. Like you can seriously just do nothing and never acquire experiences that are going to actually make you confident. And I think that sucks because you see a lot of people that have a lot of potential. It's like a lot of untapped potential, but you never get to see it because they're too afraid to step out their door. Like social anxiety. Social anxiety is something that's hugely apparent in today's generation, right? It's massive because we have cell phones, we have social media, we have all of those things. So when it comes to interacting in person, you get social anxiety because you have no idea what the heck you're doing. And what you don't realize is that being social is an actual skill set that you have to learn through doing. It's just like any other skill. It just takes practice. And you have to go out. You have to go through the motions, and you have to understand when you're making mistakes, and you have to fail, and you have to get back up, and you have to fail again. And so it sucks when you have, say, like a homeschool kid that doesn't go out and do any activities outside his house. He's just a sheltered child, right? Well, when it comes time for him to interact in the real world, he's going to have no idea what the hell he's doing. He's going to still act like he's 8 years old. People will look at him weird. He's going to get criticized and bullied because he didn't go through the proper steps to learn how to socialize with people, right?
Yeah. And that's actually one of our basic human needs is social interaction. Especially, technology kind of made the world better and made it worse at the same time.
Well, but I mean, like, there's always good to eat, or there's always evil to good, or whatever the heck.
Well, and meaning that the younger generations, my generation, grew up, with the phones of what was it, Nokia. We came in with the Sidekick, the Razor,
flip phone
with no, and we just using the text once in a while. Got that T9 on there. You hear me? But the kids now are so. I mean, we're all addicted to their phones, but the ones that's really affecting in a hugely negative manner is young children. Like I want to say under 12 or 13. They can't start coming out with iPhones, touch screens. You can get Facebook, Instagram, every single app you want, anytime, clocks, compass, whatever you need on your device. And that limits social interaction. The kids that play video games all day, the kids that are on Facebook all day, on Instagram all day, talking to people on text, then they can't even look at you in the eye and while you're talking. And you're like, are you paying attention? Are you actually listening to what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Are you comprehending? Because you're not looking at me right in the eye, because this is how men do it. You know what I'm saying? If you're a little kid, and that's, my dad taught me that very early. Like when you're talking to somebody, show people respect and look them in the eye. I mean, that's just basic. That's just basic, man. Like,
that's basic communication.
That's basic. Yeah. And now that's being lost because technology has manipulated your brain into going like this, sending a text, and then boom, there's no social interaction. You're interacting with the device, not anybody else. There's words coming out of the device coming from that other person, but that doesn't mean you're really talking to them.
It's kind of like you're talking to somebody, but there's somebody standing in between you. And it's just middlemaning it.
Yeah, middleman. Yeah.
You're gonna talk to this person, then you're
I'm
gonna go and talk to them.
Texter. Like I'm terrible texting, and I don't really know how to use emojis. I try. I just put LOL. Oh, okay, that goes that.
Yeah, link. Hey, it's telling me how to do it.
Where's the fire at?
Yeah, I can't find the poop emoji. Where's the poop emoji?
I'm like, poopy. And then it's like, I'm like, okay, there it is.
There it is.
So
chocolate ice cream swirl.
I don't know how to find it. There's one right there. Hey, turn out.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan.
The owner, but
yeah.
In it's like I said, technology is a very positive thing because it's obviously growing so quick. It's doing a lot of good, especially in like medical fields and construction, getting people better equipment and all that stuff.
Well, I mean, like
it's done faster, but at the same time, it's also inhibiting and hindering people that are developing at younger ages.
Yeah. Another nice thing about technology too is that it's giving people a lot of opportunity to start their own businesses and to be like entrepreneurs and all that fun stuff, because now you have like an unlimited platform to advertise and to do all that fun stuff with. But anyways, I want to go off on a weird tangent right now about the eyes, because it's so weird. It's the trippiest thing ever. If you've ever really wanted to connect with somebody, if you've ever really wanted to make friends with somebody, you go in and you look them in the eyes, right? If you think about it, when you're on a date, you start to get really deep into your partner's eyes, right? With that person that you're on a date with. And then you just feel there's just something about eye contact and looking someone in the eyes where you feel a connection to that person. And so it's so funny. I've done this before just to experiment and see how it would work. But I would go and talk to people, but I wouldn't make eye contact with them just to see what would happen. And every single one of those people that I talked to that didn't make eye contact with forgot my name, forgot what we were talking about, forgot everything about me. They acted like they didn't have any idea who I was. Then after that, I started going and talking to people and just making eye contact and trying. And I just focused primarily on eye contact. It was almost awkward eye contact. But at the same time, all of a sudden we developed a connection. Those other people, we started actually, having a connection. We started becoming friends. They started remembering my name, remembering my face. And it was awesome because I think that, we connect through eye contact. And I don't think of, well, I guess if you think about a dog too, like you have a dog and they're giving you a puppy dog eyes, right? They're trying to connect with you and you're like, don't look at them. Don't look at them.
The strange thing about dogs is they won't respect you if you don't look them in the eye.
Yeah.
If you maintain that contact with their eyes, like with my dog, if he makes eye contact with me, I'm staring him down until he looks away.
Yeah.
Because I'm the alpha male.
Yeah.
I'm the alpha dog in the house.
Mhm.
You're going to be listening to me. And dude, he's a great dog. He listens to everything that I say. When he does something bad, I give him a spanking. When he does something good, today, he learned this. And I mean, by himself.
Yeah.
So he picked up his water bowl and he brought it over to me. I'm like, oh my God, good boy. And I had him sit. He had his water bowl. I'm like, you want some water? And he's like, and I grabbed the bowl from him. I put water in it and I set it down. And
You started drinking water?
well, he says he won't drink or eat unless I say so.
Oh.
So he'll sit down. I'm like, good boy. Reward him every time. But also, too, you have to be balanced. You can't just give him whippings for nothing. You have to, it's
Just abuse the hell out of them.
no.
That's what I do to
nothing
my
like that.
animals. That's what I do to all my dogs. I'm just beating them up all the
No,
time,
No.
yelling at them.
Those are animals. They have.
I'm just
I know.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
I know.
I only drop kicked my little Yorkie across the room once. That was it. Okay, maybe it was twice. Okay, you know what? Now that I think about it, it was like 5 times.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding.
Beating this dog up.
You know what? I will never own an animal ever again. I
Why?
don't care. I've
Why?
had animals my whole freaking life, dude. My mom had a zoo ever since I was freaking 3. She had a python when I was born.
Oh.
It was like 7 feet long. I crawled in his cage, and then when I crawled in his cage, my mom was like, "Okay, it's time to get rid of the
Yeah,
python."
yeah. Or get rid of Jake.
Yeah, or get rid of me. I wish they would have got rid of me, man. I just think it was cool. I'm just a guy that talks about weird stuff and
Talks
drop
about-
kicking Yorkies and all that fun stuff. Yeah, the
That's
good
dark.
old the good old
That's
eyes.
dark. Jesus.
It's always funny. I see this all the time in the gym. You probably get this all the time too. In fact, I know you get this all the time. You get that eye contact with another dude across the gym, and it's like, okay, here we go. Time to man up. We're just gonna make eye contact till he looks away. And I do it all the time. I do it all the freaking time. And that's my main goal is I'm either when I make an eye contact with you, I'm either gonna look to the side when I break eye contact, or I'm gonna sit there and stare at you till you break eye contact.
Oh,
And I'm gonna do
so
it
I
the
just had-
whole
I
time.
just had this. I mean, I get that all day long, and I really do get tired of it. I'm not trying to be cocky or anything. I'm trying to be the most humble person I can be.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, you're a sexy dude. I stare at you all day. So.
thanks, man. But this,
Tell me that.
yeah, bro, deep in the eyes. You know what I'm saying? But this 18-year-old at the gym, I don't know. I'm not gonna describe him, but literally, like, I know this kid is looking at me, like, I don't know. And this, like I said, this happens all the time, and I get so damn tired of it because everybody wants to be bigger than me. You're okay if you're looking at me, you're bigger than me. Okay,
Yeah.
you're way beyond me. Okay, so just leave it at that. I'm not worried about you. But anyways, I make eye contact with him, and this dude is just sitting at me, staring at my eyes, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm Kyle. Nice to meet you." And then he shakes my hand, and he keeps on looking at me in the eyes, and I break eye contact because I'm not trying to sit there. I'm too damn old.
Yeah.
I'm too damn mature, and I don't need that anymore, bro.
Wait,
like
so does like this?
I'm
dude-
not the, I'm
So
not
does this dude like have short hair,
longer hair,
longer hair,
man bun hair.
man bun hair?
Anyways, I go, "Hey, I'm Kyle. Nice to meet you," like an aggressive tone, and then I go back to working out because I'm not gonna sit there, bro. I'm not the type of person that I don't need to prove anything.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if I'm fucking like this or I'm 50 years old. What is the point of this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you're more manly than me. Cool, bro. Well, how about you jump on this bench and I can curl as much as you bench, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I just really don't understand. I think I'm not trying to be like cocky, like I said,
Yeah,
but
you're triggered, bro.
I'm not trying to be cocky, like I said, but like at the same time, like, are you more manly than me because you stare my eyes for a little longer?
Are you trying to make
You
love
think
to
I'm
me?
cute or something?
Like, you
Like-
want to take a picture?
Like,
Dude, there's
and it happens at the bars.
oh
The time,
yeah,
bro.
dude. The bars are the worst.
Cool, you're more
place.
manly than I am. Cool.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
gonna go over here.
Yep. No, so
Yeah, man. It really drives me crazy because it just, I don't know. It's very insecure. Like
Yeah.
it's insecurity within themselves
Yeah.
that they have to be the man. Cool,
Yeah.
dude, you're the man.
So
Well, then go away.
yeah, if I see that, the first thing that I'm probably gonna do, if it's like prolonged, like we do it more than once. I've had this happen to me in the gym. More recently, I had this happen. Younger guy just keeps looking at me, and we just like lock eyes and we're looking at each other. And I was just I have like soft eye contact. I know how to like
Like, and your body's kind of like mellow.
yeah. I'm
you
just
know?
like I'm just relaxed. I know how it's weird because I know how to project what I want, my intentions through my eyes. Right, so I'm like sitting there, I'm giving him like friendly eye contact, like this,
Yeah.
and he looks away, and then like we cross paths again. He's still freaking making eye, like look, just staring at me. And so I walk up and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, dude? How are you doing?" And I just like super friendly towards him. And then after that, just bros. Now we're just bros. And now we hit, like I see him every time. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" Like,
Yeah.
"Oh, hey, how's it going?" Like, see,
And
wears
that's most of the time.
Yeah, he
That's
wears
what-
he wears some cool shoes. I'm like, "Oh, nice shoes, man."
Oh.
And like even in the bars, I've seen that in the bars. It's gonna be a little bit different because I mean, if I'm out and it's during the day, I'm not gonna come up and be like, "Whoa, what's up, man? How's it going?" But when it turns nighttime and it's like midnight and all the freaks come out, including
Ooh.
Jacob, and it's like a full
Yeah.
moon and I'm howling and there's hair coming out of my ears.
The freakies.
Yeah, the freak. Oh yeah, I'm about to get all freaky. I'm gonna show some nipples. Lick my
The
nipples.
freakies.
Oh,
joking.
okay. Calm down. I know it's
Yeah,
your
you're right.
birthday. I
Go for
know
the
it's your
top.
birthday.
Oh, it's a top.
Anyways.
It's my birthday.
Anyways, I see it at the bar, and it's a whole different vibe. I just come up, and I'm like super excited and fun. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, dude, man? How's it not going? You're like my best friend ever, yada yada
I
yada."
love you.
Yeah, I love
love
you,
you.
guy. And then boom, it's either it's on or it's just off. And I'm like, "All right, cool. Have a good night, man." I just go on to the next one because I don't have time for that. I'm here to have a good time. I ain't here to see whose dick is bigger, okay? Because I know I'm gonna lose because I don't
Don't put
have
yourself
one.
like
I
that.
don't have one.
Come on, man.
I don't have one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
I
just
get it.
kidding. I do. It's very tiny. You need a microscope. Yep. You need like a microscope to see microbacteria. That's how small. Yep.
All right.
That's why I don't grow my pubes out. 'Cause then you will never find it.
Moving on.
Yes.
Well,
Well.
the psychology of it all. So thank you guys for viewing.
Yes.
Instagram, KTFit42, Big Dreamin' Apparel, Big Dreamin' _ apparel for all your apparel needs. I believe in this company more than anything in the world. It's going to be bigger than Nike. Believe me
Whoa.
on that.
He's that.
On that.
What's up? My name's Jacob. Like long walks on the beach, staring up into the sun until my eyes start to sizzle. That's my favorite one. You can find me on YouTube, Jacob Preston Fitness. Yeah, fitness, whole burrito in my mouth. Find me on Instagram, Jacob
That's hot.
Preston Fitness. Find me on Facebook, Jacob Preston Fitness.
And 10th Dimension Podcast. Thank you
10th
guys for
Dimension
viewing.
Podcast. Like the video,
love.
share. We love you all.
Keep that pinky up.
Peace.
Keep it up.
Bye.
Soon